cut in here. Derek, I'm going to cut in here because Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor of Rockford, Tom McNamara, have arrived there behind the Belvedere ambulance. I'll let Eric go back over to the plane, but he is being met by some Rockford and state officials. Like I mentioned, Governor J.B. Pritzker and Tom McNamara have just arrived to see President Biden here arrive at the airport.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of dignitaries from all around. As you mentioned, Mayor McNamara, we spoke with him yesterday just to get his thoughts on the impact of President Biden's visit to Northern Illinois, which impacts more than just Belvedere. There's so many people from all around our area that have worked at that plant over the years. And, we saw 1,200 jobs lost just earlier this year at the end of February.
Get off Air Force One there at the airport as well.
Yeah, that is, of course, what we would love to see if he's able to answer just a couple of questions. This is so huge for just the Rockford area in general. We've had 8 sitting presidents who have come to our community. This is the first time that we were told that a president is coming here who is not really campaigning or continuing, to stay in office. That this is, again, just to announce that historic deal, which, again, we are still waiting to get more information on to finalize everything, Mimi.
Yeah, what we do know right now, of course, is that the historic agreement between the UAW and Stellantis is resulting in the idle Belvedere plant being reopened. Stellantis has committed to investing $5 billion to retool the assembly plant to produce a mid-sized pickup truck and also build an electric battery plant nearby. The plant is expected to create 1,300 jobs and launch in 2028. Stellantis will invest another $100 million to create a parts distribution center on nearby land with stamping operations for supply parts beginning in 2025. The president left Washington a little bit late. He was supposed to leave about 9:30. They left a little bit late aboard Air Force One. They were set to arrive at 11:25, but they have just touched down. As we just saw, we're now waiting for the president's plane to come around where we will see him depart Air Force One. What are we seeing right there, Whitney?
Yeah, Mike Dunn is making his way over here at the Rockford Airport, of course, behind the scenes to all of this. Good morning to you. Thank you for taking a second to talk to us. Tell us what this means for the Rockford Airport.
Well, it's been a while since the president visited our airport. I think it was President Ford a long time ago. So we're very excited. President Biden was here when he was vice president. Got a chance to talk to him, meet him. So we're very excited. It's a big honor.
How do you prepare for something like this? There's so many agencies that have to work together.
The airport.
Have a few minutes. I can do that.
Hard to see.
Oh, very good. Yeah. And they couldn't be better, to work with. They're just absolutely wonderful.
And you obviously know the ins and outs of this. What will happen next year for us as we're waiting for Air Force One?
Well, the governor's here, the mayor's here, and so when we're part of the greeting party and say hello, then they're going to get in the cars and they're going to head to Belvedere.
Just your thoughts, too, on just this whole process. All of this, coordinating all of these efforts.
Well, first of all, the Belvedere project is so good for Northern Illinois. And I told the governor this morning, he and the mayors and the whole Northern Illinois leadership group should be very proud. This is a great thing for us in Northern Illinois. The process is just a lot of fun.
Tell us about the aircraft that's...
It is kind of cool. I mentioned it back at the station when we showcased him leaving Washington, D.C., and just to see him knowing that he was coming to Rockford and knowing that this plane was going to be, in front of us, in front of our faces like it is right now. It was...
Holy crap.
Like you mentioned.
He's already landed.
Seeing the magnitude of that scene, United States of America, just knowing
Holy crap.
behind this jet and what it means to this country, how much of a really a symbol it is as well. Everyone knows Air Force One. That's the president's plane, and just momentarily he's going to be stepping off. Really, just tout what he's what he says he's helped accomplish here for Northern Illinois and bringing the Stellantis plant back online in Belvedere to make electric vehicles. So here we go, Ethan. It's we're just minutes away from the president stepping onto the ground here in Rockford.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The Jets just turned off here. The walkway for President Biden to step off the plane is about to head over there, and
Talked about President Ford last visiting the airport. I was there as a little kid. My parents brought me out there. I remember that. That was some time ago, and I remember all the excitement. So I can only imagine what it's like out there today because it's been so many years since we.
Good morning. President Biden and Air Force One has just touched down at the Chicago Rockford International Airport a few moments ago. The plane is now taxied to its destination. There is Air Force One at the Chicago Rockford International Airport. President Biden will be disembarking the plane momentarily. He may or may not make a jaunt over to the media area. And he will be greeted by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, among others. As when the president disembarks, they're moving the stairway into place there on the back end of the Air Force One, and continue to await the president's arrival this morning. Air Force One is quite the office. It is built to allow the president to make decisions in case of attack. Among other things, here are some of the crew on board and the media that potentially flies with the president. Looks like some of the military crew on board. There is room for many on Air Force
Secret
One.
Service.
Room for staff as well as the president himself with an office and a conference room in case of emergencies. There are 3 levels to the plane, and as Secret Service, military officials, and staff disembark, we will await the president's arrival in Rockford. An historic arrival, as president, the sitting president, has not been in Rockford since Ronald Reagan in 1984, when he came home for his birthday. He flew into the Rockford Airport and took a motorcade to Dixon, his boyhood home, where he then celebrated his 73rd birthday. Berglund is on the tarmac there as the dignitaries await the arrival of President Joe Biden. Marta?
Taken on over to Belvedere.
And it looks like any second now, President Biden will step off of Air Force One. Like I mentioned, Governor Pritzker and Mayor Tom McNamara waiting at the bottom of the steps, and looks like the final placements are being put on top of the walkway for the president to come down and get taken on over to Belvedere, where we will see the address in just a little bit.
Yeah, we've got crews there. We've got crews at the UAW where they're voting at the hall for the Stellantis contract that's on the table right now. They're going to be voting until 5 o'clock this evening. So it's a big day for our local economy. It's going to be an interesting day. I'm sure we'll find out later about those results of the vote and what it means for the Belvedere Assembly Plant moving forward. Right now, we're just waiting for President Biden to step off of Air Force One and step onto the ground in Rockford. He's at, Air Force One landed moments ago at Rockford International Airport, and we are just waiting now for the president to get off the
Arrival right now should be any minute. As you mentioned, they're a little behind schedule, very tight itinerary that's made public, every single morning. We will see him come down those stairs from Air Force One and then enter that black vehicle while he will make his way into Boone County. Again, that welcoming committee that you just talked about, Rockford's mayor out there, as well as airport representatives and the governor.
Whitney, are they we were talking about the excitement at the airport. Are there people like from the general public along outside the fencing of the airport at all out there, or are most people in Belvedere? We know there's a big crowd.
Fire officials here that are going to be escorting President Biden to Belvedere as well. So, and we are now seeing the first glimpse of President Biden as he gets set to step off.
Like the president
We'll
is
send it back to
emerging
you
here.
for now. We'll keep our live picture up, and there he is. Don't. Well, I won't send it back to you then.
Please don't.
Yes, there he is.
president is
And
here
I
to
know you guys
celebrate.
have the live picture, but it is certainly.
There he is. Joe Biden is in Rockford, Illinois, as we speak. Wow.
President Joe Biden landing at Chicago Rockford International Airport. Certainly a historic moment.
Wow. President Biden is in Rockford.
The president will then likely get
Nice.
right into that. We'll transport him with a motorcade to Community Building Complex, Boone County. First, he's going to chat with some of the politicians and dignitaries who are meeting him on the tarmac there. But behind the vehicle, Governor J.B. Pritzker is among them. The governor is expected to talk to the UAW
And Rockford
members.
Mayor Tom McNamara is here as well.
Okay. We would expect that Governor Pritzker will be addressing the UAW members later on this afternoon. Sean Fain, the UAW president, will also be speaking to the local. And President Biden, an unwavering supporter of unions across the nation, not only as president, but as many years as politician, will be claiming a victory for unions, the American workforce, and certainly a victory for the Belvedere community and the State Line region.
Yeah, and apologies that he is blocked by the vehicle. They're all parked right in front, so he'll, of course, get right in and head to Belvedere. Lots of security, as would be expected.
I could see him.
Biden is on the ground
I could see Biden.
this hour as we approach the noon hour, and he will be likely.
Our area, the local UAW going to vote on this. The company agreeing to build a new $3.2 billion battery plant, investing $1.5 billion on an existing plant. This moment in history too is not something just that we're talking about. We've got Belvedere's teachers changing their lessons plans today, talking about the visit of our president.
It is historic to have, as we were mentioning, we haven't had a sitting president visit the State Line area in many years, so this is very exciting and something all of Belvedere can be excited about because, again, we're talking about such great economic news for Belvedere, Boone County. The entire northern Illinois region is going to benefit from this deal, this historic deal between Stellantis and the UAW. Again, they have committed to investing $5 billion in Belvedere, reopening the idled Stellantis plant. It was kind of sad going by there and seeing the parking lot empty over the past couple months. So it's going to be great to see activity start up there again, along with building.
In the House, where we're just talking about a few Republicans who are kind of deciding which way the majority swings, a very important seat is actually controlled by one of the people shaking hands with President Biden out there, Eric Sorensen in the 17th district. This is the race that we have to watch every 2 years because it has been absolutely razor tight since 2020. Only a 2% margin of victory in 2020 when Sherry Bustos beat Esther Joy King, and then the previous midterm in 2022 when Eric Sorensen also beat Esther Joy King. So very slim margins. It is a very tight race. When we talk about political implications, chances are nothing is going to be changing as far as the presidential race. But look for Illinois 17, this US 20 corridor that leads right up to the Belvedere facility. This is really impactful for all those jobs. That's why Mayor McNamara has been talking about this. This is a regional driver that Stellantis plants. So as President Biden gets into the car, I mean, this is something that doesn't just impact the presidential race. This is something that we're going to be looking at regionally as well, because Sorensen has been very vocal, even though it's not technically his district. We mentioned that's Bill Foster's district, the 11th, the 17th district, very much impacted by those thousands of jobs that happened with Stellantis.
That's right, William. As you mentioned, President Biden just got into the vehicle. Governor Pritzker joining him in that vehicle as well as they get set to head over to Belvedere shortly. They're going to be heading your way with that full motorcade intact, and they're going to be heading to that community building complex of Boone County. Such a historic building right around downtown Belvedere, and this really means a lot for downtown Belvedere too. I was talking with several businesses around there when I was doing my Destination Downtown segment in Belvedere. Several of them said they've been hurt a little bit by the idling of the plant in February. It's been a tough year for a lot of businesses there.
Yeah, Derek, you talk about the entire impact of the Stellantis plant. When you are building so much, when you're building entire vehicles, there's a lot of other companies that are involved in that too. It is not just that one massive building that you see driving down 20 or driving down 90. There are massive impacts with other distributors, manufacturers that set up shop in the state line. Those people employ more workers, and those are the workers that live around downtown Belvedere, that go to the businesses in downtown Belvedere. You talk about destination downtown, Derek. It's hard to have a downtown if you don't have a thriving community. And Stellantis, that Belvedere assembly plant, was so much the heartbeat of this community. And now with this massive deal, you're talking about that legacy that.
We're also learning the history too of the plane itself. I know you just heard from Mike Dunn moments ago, who said
it does come down State Street to get into the community complex building, but it has been an interesting morning here to say the least. Started off very calm, but then the crowd started to form. First and foremost, the union members trying to get into that community center, of course, to see the president. Did see a number of dignitaries and municipal workers too that were all in that line. A lot of our local mayors, representatives who are now inside that building. So we're going to have much more for you live here as to what we think will play out again as President Joe Biden arrives in that motorcade and makes his way right down West First Street here in Belvedere to then enter into that community center that is packed to the brim and ready to go as we receive this incredible news here for the Belvedere area. We'll have much more live coming up in Belvedere for you right now, Andy. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
This way out of the Chicago Rockford International Airport, and it will be heading east to Belvedere. As you can see, those cars are working their way through the airport gates and on their way to the airport with President Biden and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker in one of those vehicles. It is quite an extensive motorcade, and there goes a few police cruiser and a few others, paramedics and others as needed, hopefully not needed, and their short drive to Belvedere. And they will be returning once again to the Chicago Rockford International Airport later this afternoon, and then the president heads into Chicago for a fundraising event, but not before a celebratory party with UAW Local 1268 in Belvedere. All right, we're going to take a break. 23 News at Noon is coming up at the top of the hour. And Marie Shutt will join me, and we'll continue our coverage of President Joe Biden's visit to the state line next.
The Israeli-Palestinian conflict that's going on. So, as far as the president's visit here, he is focused on this announcement. In the crowd, also some familiar faces when it comes to elected officials. One of our elected officials, Congressman Eric Sorensen, was on Air Force One with the president, so he's arriving as well. But a big crowd here anticipating the arrival, and has this party atmosphere, not so much just because President Biden is here, but more for the fact that these workers are super excited about what the Stellantis deal means for their future. We'll be here all afternoon long and cover the president's speech. We'll bring it to you in a little bit. If we have anything to update, I will bring it to you. In the meantime, maybe I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Eric. Again, we'll carry the president's remarks on the historic deal right here on Eyewitness News, as well as streaming online and on our website, mystateline.com, and our Facebook page later this afternoon. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Swiper blades.
Healthier happen together.
Now that